Welcome to Variant Edition, your source for comic book news and culture. I'm Kevin. It's Tuesday, May 20th, 2008, and we're back with all the info that you'll need to step in your comic shop this Wednesday. And we'll start the way we usually do, with comics. After the rundown, I'll be back with our pick of the week. Okay, we'll admit it, we're hooked on Marvel's Secret Invasion, and thus this week's pick of the week is Mighty Avengers number 14. Now, so far the main series has been full of surprises and big action, but Bendis has also been putting a fair amount of backstory into the Avengers books that he writes. Mighty Avengers 12 and 13 showed what Nick Fury was up to after the events of Secret War, and issue 14's big revelation, the debut of an all-new Howling Commandos, and we're looking forward to it.
Hi, I'm Nick, and here are your headlines for Tuesday, May 20th, 2008. DC is looking to get into politics this fall. DCU Decisions will be a 4-issue bi-weekly shipping series that sees DC heroes becoming a part of the political process and actually endorsing candidates. But don't look for Superman to have to pick between Obama or Hillary. Since it's a comic, expect fictional DC Universe candidates and potentially pseudo-preachy dialogue from writers Judd Winnick and Bill Willingham. But we'll be picking it up for the sweet Stefan Rowe artwork. If you missed last week's Batman number 676 featuring the beginning of the new Batman RIP story, don't worry. DC will be putting the issue back to press for a second printing that should hit shops June 11th. The same goes for Invincible Iron Man number 1 and Iron Man Viva Las Vegas number 1. Astounding Wolfman is going monthly. Starting with the 8th issue and expected to ship July 30th, Robert Kirkman and Jason Howard's Wolfman will switch from bi-monthly to monthly. To coincide with the new scheduling and to catch up readers, Image will be releasing the first trade on the same day, collecting issues 1 through 7. Expect J. Michael Straczynski to be scripting The Brave and the Bold. It's the first announced work in the DC universe since Straczynski went non-exclusive with Marvel. He plans for most of his stories to be 1 to 2 issue arcs, with team-ups to include Batman and the Spectre, Doom Patrol and the Legion of Superheroes, Superman and Sergeant Rock, and Legion of Substitute Heroes and the Inferior Five, among others. The End League is getting a new penciler. Writer Rick Remender announced at the Emerald City Comic Con that current artist Matt Broom will be taking a break after issue 4, and that Iron Man, the Mandarin artist Eric Canete, will be providing the art with colorist Dave Stewart starting with issue 5. The reason? Broom still has a full-time gig with Sony, and we suspect Remender would like the book to be closer to monthly. Burned out from Countdown? DC told fans at the Emerald City Comic Con that the upcoming weekly Trinity will not be tangled in Final Crisis and is new reader accessible. And strangely enough, so is Wonder Woman, which isn't tied to Trinity or Final Crisis, but she will be appearing in all 3 of them, right? Okay, so it's not all paper comics news today. Here's Eddie with some big screen comics news.
Thanks, Nick. The big news continues to be Iron Man this week. The reviews are almost all positive, and the word of mouth has been extremely strong. So it's a little surprised that Iron Man kept its number 1 spot for the second week and only slipped 37% in its third to take the number 2 spot with 31.8 million for this weekend, putting its 3-week worldwide total to over 430 million. Whew. Number 2 last week was the live-action Speed Racer remake with only 20 million. Ouch. It hasn't even opened yet, but Wanted is getting a sequel prepared. While it doesn't mean a sequel has been greenlit, the screenwriters from the original have been hired to write a sequel. We call this Universal hedging their bets. If Wanted opens big, they could put a sequel on the fast track for production. Underground Online has the first look at the upcoming Punisher Warzone poster. The sequel is set for release December 5th. And the upcoming Spirit movie has a new date, Christmas. Moved up from January 16th, the new date puts the Spirit in a coveted holiday opening. Okay, we don't often dabble in rumors, but this is one everybody's going to be talking about. Cinematical reported last week that they heard word that James Vanderbilt, the writer of Zodiac, has turned in a working draft for Spider-Man 4. It's still too early to report anything other than a rumor, but Sony may decide to shoot Spidey 4 and 5 simultaneously as the script looks to be a 2-movie arc. We'll keep you up to date as more information leaks from this. And finally, expect Witchblade to premiere in yet another medium, film. Following up the success of the comic, Top Cow got their premiere scantily clad heroine on TV with a short-lived series on TNT, then more recently adapted as a Japanese-produced anime. Work on the live-action production is expected to start in September. I'll be back next week with more TV and movie news. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Eddie. Wrapping up, word is that legendary creator Gene Colan has fallen ill with a failing liver. Clifford Meth is putting together an auction and book sale to raise money to help with expenses. And late last week, he wrote on his blog that Marvel Entertainment is stepping up and has plans that will provide immediate and long-term relief to Mr. Colan. Okay, that's it for the news. I'll be back later in the week with some reviews.
So I have the first look this week, and I've got Ultimate X-Men number 94. Why is this comic important? Because Kirkman's no longer writing Ultimate X-Men. It's a new guy, and I can't say his last name, so I'm not going to, but you can read his name in the book. What we have here is one of the X-Men get abducted. Not going to tell you who, because then you wouldn't read the book, but one of the Ultimate X-Men gets abducted by Alpha Flight. Yeah, Alpha Flight. They come from Canada, and they're all juiced up on their mutant growth hormone, and they defeat the X-Men and steal Peter's boyfriend. I think I gave it away as to who the X-Men was. But besides the point, you find out that Colossus, being big steel and all, I'm Colossus, he's not strong enough to lift his own weight. So he is juicing with mutant growth hormone, and the team doesn't like it. And yet, well, by team I mean Jean, because Jean doesn't like anything. And Cyclops and, most of the other X-Men are with him, and they're like, okay, let's go kick Alpha Flight's ass. No plan. Sounds like a good idea. Okay, fine, go for it, X-Men. Have fun. Hope you're all juicing.
Okay, the next first look this week is Fantastic Four number 557. Again, it's the next issue of the Mark Millar and Brian Hitch story. The first issue I thought was good with a little weirdness, and the second issue I thought was pretty good. Yeah, I want to like the story. I want to like it a lot. And I think it's because I'm putting too much hope into this. Mark Millar is big. Everything he writes is big. The stuff has big ideas. It's big, okay? Fantastic Four, by its nature, is a big book, and he's doing a good job. But to me, it just feels like he's kind of, painting by numbers. And I know that's a really nasty way to put it, but it's good, but it's not great. And I guess that's not very good praise. I liked his Ultimate Fantastic Four a little better. It just had a little something. And this book feels like a really good Fantastic Four story. It's got the big scope. It's got Reed Richards being smarter than he should be and doing clever things. There's a really clever thing for his anniversary with his wife. And he's trying to make it a little spicy with the love interest of his former girlfriend. So there's a lot going on in here. And he even does the Mark Millar political thing with the president, which you'll see when you read it. But it just, I don't know. I think I'm hoping for too much. So it's an adequately good Fantastic Four story, and it's better than most. But I guess, the hype machine has had its best with me, and I'm just expecting it to be the best thing that Mark Millar has ever put on paper. But I guess he'd say that was kick-ass. But I'm probably going to jump to the trades after this. I'll enjoy reading it, but it's just not blowing me away.
So I take a look at Wolverine Origins number 25. Deadpool's in it, so automatically I'm addicted to the book. It's part. I think it's like issue 4 or 5 of the series that they're running right now in Wolverine Origins. And basically what we've got is Deadpool has Wolverine captured in a pool, and he keeps on drowning him so that Wolverine can't come back. And then this guy shows up with a mohawk, and Deadpool has to fight him. And it turns out that it's Wolverine's son. Wolverine's son who survived after somebody killed his wife with their unborn son. Apparently the baby survived, became the son, escaped from S.H.I.E.L.D. or some secure place, and it's this big whole setup type thing, and Bucky shoots him in the head. That's about all I can say about this. But the more important moment here is that if you don't own it already, in the back of the issue of Wolverine Origins number 25, it is the very first comic that had Deadpool in it. It's a throwback to, I'm guessing, 70s, 80s, and it's Deadpool's first actual appearance in the Marvel Universe. Yes, I said Marvel University because it's a big college. It's Deadpool as we know him and love him, and he shows up, and it's got Cable, and it's you just got to read it. It's a great way to get into Deadpool as a character, and since he might be in a movie soon, you might want to learn about it.
All right, that's it for Variant Edition Tuesday this week. Before we go, you're probably noticing something different than the rest of the episode. We had some equipment problems, and my MacBook that we shoot the show through and do the editing is now in Apple Land getting repaired. So we lost some of the footage that we shot last night, but we're really trying hard to stick to our Tuesday schedules. So this is my bedroom. So the 2 segments that we lost before I got them off the computer before it died was the pick of the week and the closing. So this should be Mike and Nick basically saying, yeah, last week sucked. And that's when our equipment problems started. And of course, we didn't get taken care of in time. So, but, that's beyond that. Next week, we should be back to normal. So like we tell you every week, you can catch us on iTunes, VO, YouTube, really nice feed from Blip TV, and our TV quality from Views. And unlike where I am right now, the rest of the show is shot at Classic Comics, where we shoot just about every episode. Check them out at classiccomics.com. They're still your friendly neighborhood comic store. Check out their website to see how you can save up to 20% on your books. Next week, we'll be back. It'll be a more consistent episode. We hopefully won't be in my bedroom. So that's really it for now. See you next week.